Hey, yo, Mindsetters fam. Happy New Year. I know. It's been a minute since my last upload. I needed to handle some self care. However, my mind is right and your boy is back. So, what's good? You're now tuned into another episode of the Resilient Mindset Podcast, a channel that focuses on the motivation of men's mental health and awareness. Today's discussion topic: having distorted thoughts, also known as cognitive distortions. Haven't we all experienced moments where our thoughts just seem to betray us? Today, we'll unmask these distortions and learn how to break free from their grip. Let's get it.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Welcome back. This is a follow up video to the original distortions video. You can check the part one video at the end screen. Hold up, don't leave yet. Stay to the end to receive the intriguing concepts of distortions and explore how they influence our thinking patterns and relationships. Yo, I chose violets today, so be warned. Distortion number 7: magnification, minimization. And this is when we tend to overvalue the importance of negative features or events while undervaluing the importance of positive ones. A scenario for that will look like, let's say you cold approach a shorty. And for those who don't know what that is, that's pretty much hollering at a chick who hasn't shown you any interest or choosing signals, which is a highly debatable concept from many opinions I have heard. Anyway, you approach shorty and the vibes is cool and you get her social media contact info versus her direct contact. The distorted thought: I don't know if she was feeling me. I did get her social media contact, but that's it. This thought pattern magnifies the negative fact of not getting her direct number and minimizes the fact of receiving a social media contact. We all know anything before but negates the whole statement. Some people preach this is a dub or a L type of situation, implying she is attention seeking with boosting her following. What matters is what you think and your experience in a situation. I'm not the most social media friendly type of dude. However, last time I checked, you can DM a person without following them. Number 8, jump into conclusions. And this is when we assume we know what others are thinking without supporting evidence, which creates unnecessary stress. It's super important we question these assumptions and communicate openly and directly to avoid misunderstandings. And for this scenario, story time. This past summer, I attended a jazz brunch festival. I went to a meetup type of event. And for those who don't know what Meetup is, it's a really dope app for those people who are trying to, have like interactions with females outside of the local club scene or bar scene, and you want to do something that is more to your liking. I would check out the app. It's called Meetup, and basically is super dope. Basically, you join these groups that's based on your liking. So if you're a person who likes hiking, or if you're a person who likes sports, or whatever the case may be, if you're a person, they even have meetups for, if you're single, single male, single female, whatever the case would be, and they even have age ranges. So if you're 20 something to 30 something, 20 to 40, year old single person, they have meetups for that, and it's based on the town or area that you're in. So I would highly suggest checking it out. I mean, I've had some pretty good encounters with females going to these different events, which one I'm going to talk about now. So let's get back into it. So I attended this jazz brunch festival like this past summer. It was this outdoor event, pretty dope event. I got there and it wasn't really too packed. There was a few people from the group that I was in that was there, these couple of females. And, one of the females seemed to be feeling me a little bit, but she really wasn't my type of speed. So, I engaged in conversation intermittently or every so often, just keeping it light, keeping it casual, keeping it cool. However, she invites one of her homegirls, so who's not in the group. So her homegirl comes through, and her homegirl is definitely my speed. Short, brown skin, slim, thick. That's more type my speed. So I just peeped out the scenario and just played it cool or whatever. However, Shorty seemed like she was giving me those chooser signals, but nothing too overtly or over the top, but just subtle. And guys, I really want to talk about having emotional intelligence. I think a lot of times we overlook that, or some people downplay it, but it's extremely beneficial to have emotional intelligence, aka being able to read the room. And a lot of us as men, we fail in that social aspect. So I'm going to do a video on cues to look out for as far as emotional intelligence. Just to progress the story along. However, now is I believe it's like three chicks. So pretty much they're like all in my vicinity. We're all, conversating, keeping it light. I'm letting them do their thing. I'm doing my thing at the same time because I'm not there with them. And it comes time towards I'm getting tired of being out there. It's hot, summertime. I'm ready to dip. And I'm ready to go to the next spot. So as I'm leaving, or I'm, making my exit plan. I'm like, yo, it's cool to meet y'all. We'll catch up another time or another event possibly. So then as I get up, they get up. So I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to leave. And then the homegirl of the chick, she's like, yo, like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to this next spot that's not too far from here. So she's like, I'll join you. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll be up here. Just meet me there. So I leave them there. I go to the spot. Vibes is cool. It's like this little lounge spot. It's a Sunday, so they're not really popping off, but the vibes is cool or whatever. So I get my little drink. I'm chilling, vibing with the music, looking at the TV, and then some time go by, and then I feel like a little tap on my shoulder. So I look over, and it's Shorty from the jazz brunch, but she's not there with her homegirls. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we chopping it up. Vibes is cool, whatever. We talking, and then it's starting to get a little later. Now, in between that time, again, having that emotional intelligence, things are kind of escalating. Like she broke the touch barrier. We're talking. We're in close proximity. All those different things that they call chooser signals. So I'm thinking like, okay, like this is a go. So I'm like, all right, let's see what's really good. So as the night progresses, I'm like, yo, like, we need to go back to my spot, for a nightcap. And Shorty immediately is like, okay, let's do it. So I'm like, okay, so this is where the distortion comes in at. Jump into conclusions. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Shorty's down to come back to the crib so I can escalate things, a little more physically, in my spot. And guys, you definitely want to leave that type of escalation to when you get back to your crib. You don't want to be out looking like a fiend or a thirst ball out in public all over Shorty. Like I see dudes do it and it's super cringy. So anyway, the jump to conclusion is Shorty is down to go back to the spot. I already got plans in my head, like what the next move is, and that's what that is. So we get back to my crib. We chilling, got some music playing. Sitting the ambiance, let some music playing, got some drinks or whatever. Shorty getting Shorty comfortable, blah blah blah. So we sitting there, we talking, we chilling, whatever. So I'm like, all right, it's getting kind of late. Let me escalate this joint. So I escalated, and Shorty is into it or whatever. But then midway, Shorty's like, nah, I can't do this or whatever. I gotta go. So that was a dub for that night. So I calmly, and guys, you want to stay calm. You want to stay calm no matter how much you might have wanted to smash or whatever the case may be. You want to stay calm and stay gentlemanly. I just and respect the boundaries. So I got up, but I was like, all right, cool. Let me take you to your jacket or whatever, and you could roll out. So I dismissed Shorty, and it's crazy because I guess maybe she didn't expect me to react that way, like in a cool, calm, and nonchalant way, because I really wasn't that thirsty. What I'm saying? It was cool. So I dismissed her, and that ended that night. So basically what the jump into conclusions portion was like I said, was like, inviting, just assuming that because Shorty was D to come back to my crib, that she was DTF. And, I didn't have any supporting evidence of that. Just because she was having a good time, and my mind didn't necessarily equate to us escalating things physically, where in her mind she probably didn't see it that way. So guys, just make sure that when you are having these interactions, that you don't necessarily jump to conclusions, and you be direct and you be straightforward. And I think that's where I messed up on my part, by not being a more direct with her. So just to get that kind of misconception out of the way. So that definitely helps to avoid any misunderstandings. Distortion number 9, mind reading. And this is usually a distortion closely related to jumping to conclusions, however, with a caveat. We convince ourselves we know how others perceive us, and it's usually negatively without evidence. This can lead to self doubt and damage relationships. Remember, we can't read minds. And again, it's important to communicate our feelings and thoughts. And in this situation, a scenario I could think that closely represents this type of distortion is, this is usually where the term alpha, beta, sigma terms come into play. If I'm strong and an asshole, I'm the alpha type. If I'm strong and silent, I'm the sigma type. If I'm a pushover and weak, then I'm the beta type. Why does this matter? Because there is no way to know how people perceive you. Some people won't see you as how you see yourself, whether you consider yourself to be alpha, sigma, or beta, which is perfectly fine. However, you can establish personal boundaries on how you want to be treated. I can't read your mind, yet you stuck around this far. You must be receiving some type of value. So give some back. It's free. You can join the Mindsetters fam and support the channel by hitting the like and subscribe button. Help me expand my channel and push my content to other viewers like you. Distortion number 10, fortune telling. And this distortion can resemble mind reading. However, the caveat is predicting something will happen in a certain, usually negative way based on little or no evidence. So a scenario I think that closely fits this is, have you ever seen those videos where they try to catch those gold digger chicks? I don't know if they're legit or fake. I know some people will say even if it's fake, it happens in real life. Okay. Usually they target the random Pukiana or hood rich chick archetype. Cute, thick chick, Edward Scissorhands, fingernails, bat wing eyelashes, heavy makeup, possibly tatted up with tight and or revealing wears on. Maybe she's rocking a purse, bag, or gear that looks to be way out of her price bracket for the hood area she's in. The fortune telling distortion is to expose the chick as a gold digger without any evidence. Why is this harmful? Well, this archetype of women seems to be the majority of women. Are most of them like this? Maybe. However, it does put the seed in your mind on first glance that, damn, shorty trying to stick before my paper. Fellas, keep your investments low. See if she initiates or reciprocates by watching her actions. Number 11, emotional reasoning. And this is when we interpret feelings as facts. This normally happens with women. Ladies, you know this is true. If you notice, most women and some men normally start a sentence with, I feel like. When I hear the statements begin with, I feel, I immediately take it with a grain of salt, because feelings are subjective, unpredictable, and uncertain. And I used to speak this way until I noticed my verbiage and trained it right out of me, replacing it with more assertive terms such as like I think, I'm sure, or I know. So a scenario for this distortion that I think fits best is to have a feeling that a shorty is cheating. And I know we've all been there. I've been there myself. The twist in the gut, heart pounding, anxiety inducing feeling. So what do? We pop up at shorty's house or job unannounced, stalk her on social media or in real life, run through her phone, maybe even angrily confront her about it. But it doesn't matter because your mind is set. The feeling is just too strong to be denied. That's why it's important as men we adopt the facts over feelings mindset. Does that mean we ignore our feelings? Hell no. However, we can make appropriate responses versus reactions that are induced by those feelings. 12, personalization. And this is where we assume responsibility for a negative event that is beyond our control. And I know I'm going to get some pushback for this, and I don't even give a damn. But the scenario for this is, let's just go with the previous example that Shorty turns out to be cheating. With this distortion, you take responsibility for her cheating. This is where you may hear the if yous. If you paid me more attention, if you took me out more, if you listened to me, blah, 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 blah. And what pisses me off even further is content creators who co-sign this with their if yous. If you had a masculine frame, if you were more in shape, if you had more money, if you had more fashion, if you had more charisma, blah, 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 blah. Are these things important? Yes. Can these qualities increase your relationship interactions? Yes. However, you are not responsible for the decision someone else made to seek outside intimacy. I'll say this shit again for the stubborn people in the back. You are not responsible for the decision someone else made to seek any type of outside intimacy. Yo, this is damaging in so many ways because we can develop low self-esteem that co-signs our negative self-talk, which lowers our self-value. Are there things you could have done which contributed to her losing interest? From her perspective, yes. However, a healthy woman will express her needs and wants effectively and not seek them elsewhere. If you need signs for that, check out my 6 green flags of wifey material parts 1 and 2 videos. And to keep it 100 with you guys, this is the typical narcissistic victim blaming tactics that keeps men in toxic relationship loops. And last but not least, number 13, labeling. And this is when we are attaching a negative label to ourselves or others based on one experience instead of describing a mistake in behavior. And I may get some pushback for this, but honestly, I don't even give a damn. So let's go with the scenario of the previous example. With this distortion, you now label her as a 304 and yourself as being beta from the experience. Regardless of how many intimate partners she was with, being unable to communicate her unhappiness or leave an unfulfilling relationship respectfully was her mistake in behavior. Alternatively, labeling yourself as a beta isn't a behavior. Not setting personal boundaries and walking away when needed was a mistake in behavior. I would assume they were previously ignored red flags or egregious disrespect before she decided to cheat. Listen up. As a content consumer, it is extremely important to be mindful of the impact that words, thoughts, and ideas may have on you. By recognizing and challenging distortions, we can break free from their grip and live a life driven by reality. Yo, which part of this video do you agree or disagree with? Drop your thoughts or ideas in the comment section. I hope you gained some value from this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay locked for more mindfulness content by viewing another video. Stay resilient.